We are live. Back-to-back shows. We're live. We're live back-to-back shows because yesterday we went hours and hours without even talking about RAF, without talking about CyHawk Dual, and without mentioning that there were duels last night that were pretty exciting. So we're live. Not the longest show today. It's going to be more of a shorter show. I got to get home and cook and start.
Hey, how about this wasn't planned at all? You wore an Iowa State shirt, and I wore this shirt that I got. It's one of my prized possessions, actually. It's not a prized possession. I just really like the shirt. Can you see it?
Iowa. So we got Iowa State. Look at that.
Yeah, I got it in Iowa City. I forget what it's called. It might be called the Iowa Chop House or something Chop House. Right downtown.
Iowa City? Iowa Chop House. I just Googled it.
Good. It was good.
The Iowa Chop House. Fine dining in Iowa.
Now that I think about it, this shirt might be old. I feel like it's new, but it might be. I'm trying to remember what event I was there for. I might have been there when I was still with Flo.
Good old days.
So that's a long time ago, but yeah, we had a good big meal. You know what? No, I don't know. I don't know what I was there for. Anyway,
well, we had a fun show yesterday.
We did have a fun show. Fun, long. It was 2 hours. And you know, the only thing I really wanted to clip, my Jax Forrest kind of Jax Forrest needs to wrestle monologue, because.
But then you got busy playing 8-year-olds in Halo, and
no. I thought I needed to clip that. I wanted to clip it. It was awesome. I want people to hear it. I want David Taylor to hear it. I want Jax Forrest to hear it. Get him in there. But yesterday the audio was off. You know, when I went to watch the
because you keep touching your mic. You can't.
No, you know, it's not because I keep touching the mic. It's not.
Okay, what was it?
The dongle. Had a bad dongle.
Oh, I hate when you have a bad dongle.
It's a tough day when you have a bad dongle. I replaced the dongle, and now we're good.
New dongles, and we're good.
Dongies.
All right, well, let's talk a little bit of the action last night, a little bit of action this weekend, and if we have time, maybe
that was nuts, wasn't it?
Maybe a captain's corner today. We'll see. I might, if Bashada's in the chat. There's a topic we were talking about last night that I want his input on publicly. We'll see if he's in the chat and send him a link. Last night's action, Willie, we did a bad job of letting the people know that there was some fun wrestling. I shouldn't even say that. I don't know that on paper South Dakota State versus Minnesota was make sure you tune in tonight. But if you did tune into that, you were blessed, because that was some incredible wrestling, upsets. That was just down to the heavyweight match to decide the duel. Incredible duel.
It's so funny because even so, I didn't think in a blue moon that I didn't think an upset was in the cards at all. Like, not even, you couldn't have convinced me that an upset was possible. And yet it happened.
Yeah, I mean, South Dakota State had 4 upsets. And Coy Hopke loses 7-4 in the final bout for South Dakota State to win it 18-14. Volk goes down in overtime 5-4. And I think Intermat has him ranked 4th right now. It's like, I tweeted out the graphic, and another one. Down goes a top 5 ranked guy at 125. The theme that we've been talking for the last 3 weeks at 125. Give us some consistency, but I'll be honest.
3 years.
Yeah, but I'll be honest. Like, I do kind of love the chaos.
I do, but I don't. And I like upsets. That's why we watch sports. But to me, it's part of their DNA. It's the same reason that there's so much chaos at 125 is the reason I'm also complaining about how 125s wrestle.
Yeah.
Sure. You know why there's chaos? It's not just because of the parity. It's because they all go out and wrestle one takedown matches. Go out and score. Don't leave any doubt. Go out and score. They're wrestling like They're wrestling like it's a heavyweight fight and one punch can be a knockout. Go give up a takedown. Go try to get a takedown. Get a takedown. You don't get the takedown. You give up 3. Guess what? There's like 6 more minutes. You can get it back.
By the way, shout out SDSU, because I've been vocal in the past that it aggravates me that Iowa makes the decision not to tweet out the results if their guy loses.
I kind of like it.
They only tweet out. It's infuriating if you're a fan wanting to see what happened. Like, it's like, oh, so did the guy lose? Because there's no.
I don't care. I like it.
So it infuriates me that Iowa just can't.
If you don't know, when Iowa has a duel going on, or a tournament or whatever, but especially duels,
yeah,
if they lose a match, they just won't tweet about it.
Correct.
They won't tweet about it. It's like boom, Dean Peterson at 125 with the 3-1 victory. Okay, 133. Oh, that's that man, Drake Ayala, with a 14-6 major. 20 minutes go by. At 149, you're like, what happened at 141? They lost, so they don't tweet about it at all. And I think, like, at first I was like, man, that's kind of
it drives me nuts.
At first I was like, that's Bush League. Now I'm like, that's low key savage. We don't talk about it. We just don't talk about it. Moving on.
So I bring that up because last night, South Dakota State not only tweets the results of each match, which, by the way, makes it that much more exciting, because if you're following back and forth and you're seeing what happened. So they have Brock versus Max at 184, and they tweet out after the match. I don't think it was that long of a match. They tweet, "Geesh, that guy is good. Tech fall for McAnally, 20-5." I'm like, yeah, good job. Like, you can give Max kudos for being that dog. Like, you're not. There's nothing wrong with that. Shout out SDSU social team.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool as well. I thought that was cool. I mean, give credit where credit's due. It's a little bit easier to do when you're having a great night, but
at
they didn't know.
At the time, they still, I don't think they thought going into heavyweight it was 15-14, and Coy Hopke was the favorite to win there, so that was awesome. And then we also had what? One time,
this is like, I don't know, maybe a year ago, or it might have been last summer. I think it was in the summer. I was living in Idaho, and I don't know. A number comes up. I never answer my phone if I don't know the number. Bless you.
Thank you.
I never answer my phone if I don't know the number.
You don't answer your phone if you do know the number.
That's true. Which is a problem because I don't program numbers into my phone, really. So anyway, I get this call, and it's from South Dakota, and I don't know. I spur of the moment, I'm like, maybe it's Damien. I don't have Damien's number programmed. Maybe it's Damien Brookings, right? I'll answer. I must have been really free at the moment. So I'm like, hello? And he's like, hey, Willie. And I'm like, yeah, what's up? It's not Damien. I can tell it's not Damien.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, it's Luke Rasmussen. And I'm like, hey, Luke, how's it going? He's like, good. We're doing South Dakota State wrestling fundraiser drive. Would you like to donate? And I don't know. Luke gets the big win last night.
Yeah, these wrestlers are smart with that, because I'll be coordinating like an interview with someone, and it's like, here's my number, shoot me a text, and then we'll kind of stay connected. And then 6 months go by, and I get like a fundraiser request. I think I've got like 4 in the past couple of weeks from Bishop McCourt. Like, it's funny.
Wait, hold on. The Bishop McCourt thing, something's wrong with.
What do you mean?
Understand. Because I have Melvin's number. Like,
I think it goes into a system.
The Bishop McCourt thing's weird because Melvin texts me all the time. But then a different number. So I got a text from Melvin, hey, this is the Bishop McCourt wrestling team, and it was like an automated thing.
And then you got from Sam Herring.
We're doing a fundraiser, yada, 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 right? Okay, cool, whatever. Then I get the exact same message. Hi, this is Melvin from another number, and it happened like 3 times this week.
Oh, so I got the opposite. I got, hi, this is Melvin Miller with the Bishop McCord Wrestling Lunchathon, and then the next day,
Lunchathon,
and then from Launchathon, and then from the next day, I got the same text from the same number but a different name. It was from Sam and Eli Herring. So they got to do something where, these kids are smart. They get a number from somebody, and it's like, yup, they're going in the funnel.
Yeah. Seth just slowly said, Seth, are you gonna? I need to hire Seth. Seth, let me hire you.
Seth got a lot of love yesterday in the show, and people were.
Not hiring me. Not hire you. I know you're doing your own thing, but come aboard, bud. Let's do stuff.
Collab. They got a collab.
Let's make sweet music. Also in the chat, you're asking about these cards.
Let's do a. What do they call it when you open a pack? A pack review?
I'm not opening them. I'm not opening. Here's the problem.
Just rip a pack. Rip a pack of RAF cards. You puss.
I got one. Listen, I work for the company and I still only got one.
Rip a pack, you puss.
And I was hoping that they would, because they were only selling them up top. I would have went and bought a couple packs, but they were only selling them up top, and I was working. So I said to one guy, I was like, "Hey, what's up with the cards?" He's like, "You didn't get any? Here's a pack." I'm like, a pack? Anyway, they were really expensive to make. And some of them are cool. There's one that has Ben Askren's
Rip
singlet.
a pack so we can see real quick.
Well, I don't know if I'm going to get a Ben in there.
Let's see. Do it for the people.
Here's the problem. Everybody's asking me for them. Everybody. There's big wrestling card aficionados on Twitter that I love. It's really cool. I follow them all, and I don't follow many people, but I follow those guys because I like to see different stuff. A lot of them stuff I've never seen before in the past, but they were asking me about them. A lot of friends were asking me about them. Dave Barker from last week. Dave Barker, the guy that owns the Super 32, he's like, "Willie, what's up with those cards? Can you get me a couple packs?" And I said, "I'll see what I can. I'll get some for you." So I called the guy at RAF that handles that stuff, and he's like, "Listen, we were gonna put them online to sell, but that's just a whole nother project right now, and we're not getting into it, and yada yada yada." And so I said, "Are they going to be for sale though at RAF3 and RAF4?" He said, "Yeah, we're selling them on site until they're gone." So they will be there. So I'm going to have to go buy a couple packs.
Why don't we talk RAF, since that's a nice little segue with the cards? You want to do a rundown of the card? Because that is
what do we
Saturday
got?
night in Chicago. And by the way, I watch Barstool's Yak Daily Show, which is entertaining, great to kind of have on in the background. And
Yak?
It's the Yak, one of Barstool's shows. So they literally just yak about whatever for a couple hours. So I have it on usually when I'm working. And yesterday, KB No Swag, Kyle Bauer, he's on there, big wrestling fan, wrestled at Kent State. And he's always bringing up wrestling when he can. Sure enough, yesterday, one of the people on the show.
Where do you watch this at?
YouTube. On the Barstool YouTube. So yesterday, I'm watching it. It's on in the office. And one of the other hosts of the show got Clay Guida, Austin O'Connor, Lance Palmer, and Kennedy Blades all on the show yesterday. And they were talking about RAF.
Really?
For
I didn't know that.
For 20, 30 minutes. And then they got a big audience. They usually get 10 to 15,000 concurrent viewers on their shows. So pretty big audience, and they're Barstool's based in Chicago. So I'm assuming because everybody's, heading out there. So that was very cool. Yeah.
I didn't know Barstool was based in Chicago. Well, hopefully some of those Barstool personalities come out. As soon as this show's over, I'm going to the airport and I'm flying to Chicago, and I'm going to be there for a long time, till Monday.
Yeah.
But this card should be good. This card should be really good. I didn't even know Lance was on there. I talk to Lance literally every day.
Lance did an awesome job, explaining. Lance is a true professional when it comes to communicating. He just did an awesome job of communicating, to Barstool's a lot of not casual, but a lot of sports fans, but they're not too into wrestling, obviously. So he did a good job of explaining the UFC build a car type model, and it's not just a superstar versus superstar. It's like there's a lot of intriguing matchups. He did an awesome job. They all did a good job, but Lance did an awesome job.
I'll have to go. I'll watch it when I'm traveling today. But yeah, it's really weird that Lance. I followed him. I followed his high school career. He's just an amazing high school wrestler, and then he goes to Ohio State and he does really well. And I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm doing media, but I never really got close to Lance. We weren't buddy. Like, some kids I'm just close to. Some kids I just never have a relationship with. And Lance was one of those guys. So Lance goes through all his high school career. I follow it. All the college career, I follow it. He goes on the MMA, and I follow it. And it took to RAF for us to become buddies. And he is an excellent dude. He is. He was
on Baschamania back when it was like COVID 2020. Awesome. It was I think just after he won $1 million in PFL. So it was a fun show. But yeah, let's go through the card.
Okay, so first match. This is match order here. Darrion Caldwell versus Bo Bassett. I know for a lot of wrestling purists, and listen, I look through the lens the same way a lot of you guys do. Is there's entertainment, and then there's wrestling purists, right? And the wrestling purist in you is going to say, Bo Bassett's going to kill this guy. He's going to kill Darrion Caldwell. Darrion Caldwell was great. He's long in a tooth. And you're probably right, but first match for Bo Bassett, from an entertainment standpoint, you get him on camera, you start telling his story a little bit, you get the general audience that's going to watch in the venue, and by the way, the ticket sales for Chicago are awesome. It should be.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
Really great crowd. But the wrestling public is fully aware of everything Bo Bassett. But the general sporting public, probably not so much. So you get him on a card, and you get his feet wet in the promotion. Alexis Gomez versus.
By the way, not for nothing too. Underlying storyline about Bo and Darrion, the very first of Bo's ACC rivalries with Virginia Tech, NC State.
Yeah. Did you see Bo's? Now, I don't know if this has been recent or if it's a picture from a couple months ago, but I think Bo recently, like a day or so ago, posted a picture of him and Henson and Freyer.
I didn't see that, but I know he's been down there. I mean, Virginia Tech shared a video.
The picture was from Bo's house.
Oh, really? I didn't see that.
Yeah. Somebody texted me yesterday too. Like, is Bo Bassett going to Virginia Tech early? Is he going to wrestle second semester? I'm like, no, I'm not even getting into that one. I already went through the whole circus with Jax, but
not going to make the same mistake twice.
But there is some. Don't be surprised if Virginia Tech picks somebody up for a second semester. I'm pretty sure that's happening. Second match, Alexis Gomez. You would be correct if you assume that was Austin Gomez's sister. She wrestles for Mexico, wrestled at Pan Am's. She's wrestling Bella Mir, who, yes, is Frank Mir's daughter. Runner-up last year. I think she's ranked number 1 in the country right now. So another like MMA kind of angle. A quality wrestler. It's not like a gift to Frank Mir. She is number 1 in the country right now. Now here's one, dude. I don't know. I really don't know. It could be highly entertaining. But again, from a wrestling purist standpoint, I don't know if it registers with those guys. But Pat Downey against Joaquin Buckley, he's an MMA guy. You know what is so funny? So part of my job at RAF, I do a lot of stuff. I do so much. I do a little bit of everything. But one of them is to like write short bios, write match notes, like what to watch for. This guy does this. This guy does that. And if you watch the if they didn't do it for the first card, the second card they did, I think it said Kurt's angle. They put up like watch for this. Well, I wrote those. I didn't even know they were putting them on the screen, but in pre-program, I was like, I did that. But so I didn't know anything about Joaquin Buckley, right? So I look up Joaquin Buckley and I look at his Wikipedia page. I'm sure it's still there right now, but it said how he got into MMA. If you go look at Wikipedia, Joaquin Buckley Wikipedia, it says that Joaquin Buckley wrestled like JUCO or Division II or something, and then he went to Askren Wrestling Academy, and he was rolling around with Ben Askren, and Ben Askren said, "You should get into MMA," and he said, "Nah, I ain't about that. I'm not about that, right?" So Ben said, "Okay." And he said, a couple weeks went by, and Ben said, "Hey, you want to go to this wrestling practice with me down here somewhere?" And Joaquin Buckley said, "Yeah, okay." So Ben picked him up and took him to an MMA practice.
That's crazy.
And that's how he got into MMA. And now he's like a thing.
Yeah. No, so I had like, when I was researching who he was, I had kind of seen his background. And it was almost the opposite of a lot of these wrestlers who were like, I want to go MMA. He was just a very casual transition. Normally these guys in like middle school, high school nowadays are like, I'm going to wrestle, go through Olympic cycle, then I want to go to the UFC. He was like the opposite.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's pretty neat. And I didn't know the backstory. And I find out on on Wikipedia that Ben kind of faked him out. So yeah, Downey, Buckley, Clay Guida, Caden Henschel. This is another one that's not like a prime time. It's not like it's not like an Olympic medalist against a world medalist or NCAA champ for 4-time All-American. It's not like that. But I've known Clay for a long time. He's
an awesome dude.
An ultimate warrior. He's a dog. And I'm like really interested to see Clay wrestle, and it's a fun match. Now we get into the meat of it. So we start with a lot of entertainment: Caldwell Bassett, Gomez Muir, Downey, Buckley, Guida, Henschel, and then we get into some really meaty matches. Jordan Oliver, Real Woods, and Real he's a world medalist this year. And Jordan Oliver he's a crazy great technician. It's been a while since he made this kind of weight. But it's a really interesting match. Now, we were talking yesterday, when we said about the tier at 184.
Yep.
And you said, well, Zack Ryder could beat those guys. Yeah, Zack Ryder could beat Sinclair. He could beat Ferrari, like in one match. But I'm not sure if Zack Ryder can beat them all back to back to back and win the tournament. And that's the thing with J.O. right now, is like J.O. doesn't have to go through this guy, that guy, this guy, that guy. He has to wrestle one match against Real Woods. Now, I'm not saying that Jordan Oliver should be our representative on the world team, or should be, or could be. But I think in a one-match thing, I think Jordan got a chance. He's very technical. If he can slow the match down, well, I shouldn't say slow the match down. It could be a case where there's only a couple takedowns in the match, and Jordan's very good at playing that game.
Yeah, and he's had nothing to lose. Real's the guy right now coming off of his World Championships performance, where Real's the guy. He looked awesome wrestling back for a world bronze at 65 in a weight that we normally don't have a lot of medals, and he's the top guy right now. So, when you're Jordan Oliver and you have nothing to lose going against a guy like Real Woods, it's going to be very interesting to see if J.O. just lets it fly like he normally does, and, what Real Woods does.
Yeah. And, it's interesting, too. RAF has brought back some of these older guys. Now, Jo is not older like some of them, but you don't know if they're gonna. Did they lose a step?
Yeah.
Where they're at in their training. Has Jo been practicing more on striking than he has on low singles? I don't know. We're gonna find out. But one thing we know is that Jordan's been in rooms. He's been at Rutgers all the time. He's been at Virginia Tech a lot.
Yep.
So he's not totally coming back cold. So that is match number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then Austin Gomez, Austin O'Connor. Battle for Chicago. Gomez, a Chicago native. Austin O'Connor, and a Chicago native. And I don't think it's a secret. And in fact, I think they're marketing this as the number one contender bout. Who you win this bout and you wrestle Yanni for the title in the upcoming card. By the way, there's an upcoming card that's going to be fire, and on both accounts, like legit, some legit wrestling matches, like hardcore purist wrestling matches, and some interesting entertainment level matches. But this match should be great. Gomez O'Connor. Now O'Connor we haven't seen for a little bit, but down at National Duels, Illinois was down there, and O'Connor ain't been like snacking. That dude's slapped together. That dude's more physically like eyeball test. He looks more physically imposing now than he did when he wrestled for North Carolina. That dude slapped. So Gomez O'Connor winner will get Yanni. Our 7th bout is Andrei Yatsenko against Spencer Lee. Great to see. Great to have Spencer Lee in the fold and on the card, and against a quality opponent like Yatsenko. Again, I did the bios for these things, and so I look back and look at their historical records and stuff. And the one year Spencer and Yatsenko won back-to-back titles at Cadet Worlds. Spencer
Really?
won it Spencer won it at 50 kilograms and Yatsenko at 54 and 58 or something like that.
Yeah.
Spencer won a title. 2 minutes later, Yatsenko won a title. That's pretty neat. And Yatsenko's a pretty good story. He trains with RBY a lot.
Who, by the way, I shared that news last night that RBY is back. He's been back in State College with the NLWC. I didn't really want to say anything until he kind of gave me the green light, but there was some confusion because he's opening up a wrestling club in Arizona, but he's not going to live there and train there full time. He's going to own it and operate it and have coaches and stuff. So he is back at the NLWC. He is still wrestling, competing, training. He's going to be continuing to compete for Mexico. So a really good get to have. You figure the past couple of months, you got Gilman back, you got Roman back. So huge for the lightweights at Penn State.
Yeah. He's another one, a lot like Jo in his. Like Jo event, when the time's gonna come, and Jo's been offered like 1 million jobs, and he turns them down because he knows he'll get into coaching eventually, but he knows his runway to compete and whatever he competes at is, has a shelf life. So Jo will. You talk to any wrestling person, any wrestling coach, and they know that Jo will make a good coach.
Yeah,
and. I think similarly about Roman, he's a sort of a good wrestling brain that's still in his competition days.
And he doesn't take it too serious. If you talk to him like casually, which I'm sure you have, like he has such a high level view of wrestling, and he doesn't take it over serious like a lot of guys do. Like he's gonna be a great coach one day for sure.
Yeah. Fred Minnick's in the chat. What up, Fred? So and Yatsenko too, it's really interesting, there's been a war in this country forever, So, um, I don't know. Tough to train, tough to compete when you're doing that. But he hasn't been completely off the grid. Like he took second in something pretty big last year. What do you take? Hold on. One of like a major event. What it might have been Farrell. No, Koloff. He won Koloff. He won Farrell back in 2022, but Koloff not this March, the March before. So it hasn't been too long. Who was in that bracket? It wasn't a crazy deep bracket, but he's not been on the shelf that long. Okay, so that's Yusenko and Spencer match number 7. Then Taz and Cassioppi. And Taz to me is like, we're used to being around wrestlers. Taz to me has like some star power. Taz, like being around Taz is like, wow, that's Tazhoudinov.
Yeah, it's funny too because he just dropped a match at the Islamic Solidarity Games, I think it is. And so, I know some people saw this match and they're like, "Oh, Taz next topic, give him, Mason or what." I think this is actually a good match, a nice rebound match for Taz.
Well, Cassioppi's a 2-time U23 medalist, bronze and champ, and he hasn't been. We don't see a whole heck of a lot of them recently, but so it's hard to tell where he's at. And the thing about Taz, I feel like some fans are like prisoners of the moment. And we got a lot of that at national duels where this guy beat this guy, so it means that this guy is better than this guy going forward, and oh my God, this is what this guy is. And that guy that lost, he's a fraud. And that guy that won, he's going to be a 4-timer. It's like, pump the brakes, right?
I know.
Tazhoudinov is like 23, 22 years old. He beat Snyder and Sedgelayev to win Worlds. Then he went to the Olympics and he won the Olympics. All right? Right before that World Championships, the winter before, he lost to Asians, right? He took another loss right before that. He took a loss at Worlds this year and finished bronze, and frankly didn't look himself. And so he lost to Aitmukan from Kazakhstan, who's really freaking good.
Yeah.
So I saw people on Twitter saying, he's washed, or he ain't what we thought he was. Like, bro, he's 23.
22.
Like,
yeah, give
me a break.
It's crazy how spoiled wrestling fans can get. Like, just because somebody doesn't go undefeated does not mean he's past his prime or his shine is over. Like,
yeah. I think he's a freaking. I don't know. I think he's a wrestling god. Just because you lose, Snyder lost to this guy or that guy. Jaden Cox lost to. Jaden Cox had a really weird loss one time. It happens, guys. I don't think, and especially in freestyle. I don't know. This guy's career is just starting. I think he's a dude. I think he's pound for pound one of the best in the world. I don't care if he loses. But that should be a fun match. I'm really excited to see Cassioppi back on the map. That is match 8. Match 9 is Alejandro Rivera against Kennedy Blades. This match was supposed to happen at RAF1, but then there was, we sort of learning as we go, and there was a dead period for college athletes until November 1st, so that couldn't happen. So now we get Kennedy Blades on the card, overwhelming favorite against Rivera. But hometown girl, Kennedy Blades. And I'm sure the fans will be happy. That's the ninth match, and so almost like a homecoming thing for Kennedy. And then we get Chad Mendez, Michael Chandler, and to me, it's really awesome. These are guys that both guys fought for titles multiple times in UFC and Bellator. Chad Mendez, NCAA finalist. Michael Chandler, just a blue collar. I don't even think he won a state title as a senior. And then works his way into, big, I think it was Big 12 back then, Big 12 champ, and then NCAA All-American, and then goes on to a long MMA career. Again, with the wrestling purist versus entertainment thing, this is one that I'm okay with. Not just okay. This is pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. And again, like, you have a nice mix in this card, I feel like, of entertainment versus, the matches as far as like the belt storylines. I think this is a fun main event.
Yeah, the belt matches are, so Jordan Oliver versus Real Woods is for the title at featherweight, 145 pounds. Gomez O'Connor is for the lightweight number 1 spot. Whoever wins gets a shot at the title going forward. Kennedy Blades, women's middleweight, that's for the title. And so there's three. There's 3 matches the 2 title matches, 1 number 1 contender bout, and then the main event, Mendez and Chandler. So it should be a fun card. Can I divulge? I probably shouldn't even do this, but
divulge.
Can I divulge any RAF stuff about upcoming cards?
Sure you can.
So Chicago. This is Chicago. The next one's Indiana. I guess we can talk about just really briefly because we'll do it later. But the Indiana card is going to be headlined by Hendricks Paris. I mean, you got to be happy with that, right?
Yeah, they've announced some of those matchups already, which I feel like is awesome because you can promote it then this weekend. They've announced Wyatt versus Mason, which that could very well be a potential, world team trial final. That could be a Final X match. You got Zahid and Parker. That could be an awesome one. Cardenas and Hidley. So, I mean, it's Wick and Hamidi.
Wick and Hamidi. And, so what happened was this card was originally supposed to be in Stillwater at Gallagher Iva. And just logistically, it didn't work out. I mean, one of the problems is our setup is so big. Our production setup is so big that we really couldn't do it in Gallagher. I mean, all the video boards and the staging, and it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work at Gallagher Iva. And so now we're at Fishers, Indiana, and there's a lot of Cowboys on it. You got Wyatt, you got Zahid, you got Hamidi. So a lot of Cowboy flavor. So these are the matches that were announced already. Wyatt and Mason probably be the headliner or co-main. Kekais and Zahid's a great one. Hamidi Wick. Hamidi took the challenge. On RAF1, wrestled Dake. Now he's back down at his more natural 175. Sarah Hildebrandt's on the card against an opponent from Greece. Cardenas Hidley. And then probably Gomez O'Connor against Yanni. So that's 6 bouts, and I think we're going to have 9 on that one. Maybe Kennedy runs it back against another opponent, and there's going to be some MMA flavor, some guys I think you'll be excited about.
Love that. Love that.
Yeah, and so we're kind of the Indiana card's almost done, and so the January card we're starting to put together now, which should be pretty cool. I don't want to give too much away, but it's going to be a nice location, that's for sure.
All right. Well, that's exciting stuff. Let's let's talk a little CyHawk action, because this weekend, the duel of the weekend is the CyHawk duel. And we talked about it a little bit yesterday.
baby.
We talked about it a little bit yesterday. It's like, so every match is a ranked matchup. I mean, you have two guys, I think, outside of the top 10. That's it. Two guys in the entire, likely. I mean, we don't know that there's, I mean, Iowa did put out their probables, and I think Jordan Williams or Victor Voinovich was their only backup listed. So,
yeah. Somebody. I just hope everybody's healthy. I hope we get the full complement on both sides. There were some rumblings that maybe Zerbin might have been dinged up. I don't know if that's true. I hope he's back. I hope he's good. Connor Uten, a lot of people inside the Iowa State program, even last year, heading into the regular season last year, said Connor Uten had made really good strides, and they were excited about him. And then he got hurt, and he missed the whole year. Now going into this year, they're high on him. Let's hope he's healthy. Now he gets Caliendo, who's a dog, and that's a tough hill to climb. But hopefully we get a good scrap. So assuming we start at 125, Dean Peterson, Steve-O Poulin, that rankings wise, it's number 7 versus number 10, and one guy made the podium last year. That's Steve-O. One guy did not. That's Dean. Yet Dean is ranked higher right now, and I think any way you slice it, this is a close match. I don't think if you're Iowa fans or Iowa State fans that you feel like, oh yeah, we're going to win this match. This is a toss-up. It's probably a one-score match. Dean has made a habit of wrestling one-score matches, right? Win or lose. So,
and it'll be interesting because, like we said it on yesterday's show, that Iowa's very favored in this duel. Like, they're very favored. Everything's going to have to go the right way for Iowa State to pull off the upset here. And given that it is in Ames, this would be a must-win match. You have to have this one to start the duel for Iowa State to get a W. You have to have this one.
Yeah, I think you have to have this one. Now, I don't know who to. I don't know. Dean is capable of beating about anybody. He beat Lilladot last year. He beat Spratley this year. That's number 2 and number 3. But yet he didn't place. Mm-hmm. So we'll see. I don't know who to pick here.
I don't either. I mean, it's one of those things where, like, we see Dean win a big match and then lose a match right away. It's like you don't know. In 125, it's like, how do you pick any of these guys anymore?
I almost hope they don't start at 125. Like, they probably will, but I almost hope they don't because, like...
What weight would you pick to start at?
Like, just out of
I think you started heavyweight.
Just out of pure drama?
To end with Dean Elam. And these rankings were last week, so some of these matchups, I guess, are even tighter than, like... like, Peterson Poulin's actually 7'9", and Dean Elam's actually 2'4". Like, some of these are actually even closer. But I think...
I would pick anything but 125. I would pick anything but 125. Because, and here's why. Like, if I feel like if... And this probably isn't the case because things get goofy all the time. But you feel like if Dean wins that match, the duel's over. Right? I don't know.
To a degree, yeah.
I don't know. So, like, I don't know. I would pick who do you want to start with? I'd pick anything but 125. Because the rest,
I think you got to end with Dean Elam.
Start with Caliendo Uten. Start with that match.
No, you don't end. I think you end with Elam and Dean if you can pick. 2 versus 4, huge match. I think that's the one you end with.
So start with Keter Bastida?
Yeah, you start with a banger, end with a banger.
Yeah, that is a banger. That is a banger. But here's, like, Caliendo is going to win. Kennedy is going to win. Ferrari is going to win. I don't know. I want the foregone conclusions to be out of the way.
I don't. The foregone conclusions then make it so that there's not as fun of a duel race. Like if they're up, if it's 12-0, let's say you start there and it's 12-0, it just feels like the duel was over before it even started.
It's gonna be 12-0.
If you started at 65,
it ain't going pin.
No, 65 to 84. You don't think those could be 4 potential majors?
It's only 3 matches, first of all.
10-0 or 12-0 after 3 matches.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm actually fine with it. I would be fine with it.
All right.
Anyway,
let's go match by match. Even though Willie's already said the duel's over. So
give me Steve-O.
Okay, I don't know how to pick half these. I really don't.
I don't know how to
pick
pick
a
it
coin
either.
toss. Drake Ayala versus Evan Frost at
What was that
133.
last year? That was Drake won sort of comfortably, right? Like he didn't thrash him, but it was all Drake. Because Drake was coming off last year at this time, Drake was coming off a loss to Knox. And it was like, let's see what Drake. Oh, now he has Frost. This is going to be Drake might lose two in a row, and then but Drake like scored a takedown. And
So he lost 15-10 to Tyler Knox. Then he
Right.
wrestled Bellarmine, shout out Fred Minnick, and majored him 14-6. Then it was Evan Frost, and he beat him 11-7.
Yeah. It was like he didn't crush him, but the match was like not in doubt. Now Drake didn't look his optimized self at national duels, and I think that's actually fine because he's a senior and like they're not. I don't know how great it is to be up. I don't know how great it is. He obviously wasn't up last weekend. Now maybe like it pisses him off and he resets, and gets focused, but. I'm not buying into what we thought might be a possibility last year, which is, he lost to Knox. Maybe Drake isn't, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think Drake rebounds here. I think Drake.
Yeah,
I think Drake gets it.
And I could be 0-2 here, but like, give me Drake, Bailey, and Echemendia, and I just. Nasir, I truly believe, can beat like almost anybody at the weight, but he tries to win one score matches. Like again, ultimately frustrating in that match with who the hell was it? Who was he wrestling and he lost. But it's like a 1-1 match midway through the third, and he gets in and he doesn't get it, and then he gets in and he has a standing.
Are you talking about Bailey's match against Vega?
It might have been.
Because I think that was he had the standing single, walked him back in, and Vega somehow got out of it without giving up any points.
Yeah. Yes, it was that match, and so. If Nasir scores, if I'm Tom and Terry, my message to Nasir would be this: get a first period takedown. You get a first period takedown, the dynamics all change. And if he does that, I would take him, but he doesn't, and so I will take Echemendia.
And this is a 6-7 match. No, I'm not going to do the 6-7 thing, but this is a 6 versus 7. This is a 6 versus 7, so like it's as close as it gets.
6-7.
All right, and so 149. Interesting here. Dresser said in the presser that Jacob Frost. Dresser, presser. Dresser, one of the most transparent coaches in the sport. Shout out Dresser for the shirt. Cyclones. Dresser said Jacob Frost won a pair of wrestle-offs against Pinheiro, so he has a hold on the spot. Still, they don't know who they're going to wrestle on Sunday. So Jacob Frost technically has the 49th spot right now, but him or Pinheiro is to be decided for who will go against Block on Sunday.
It's a really tough one. Either way, it's tough to pick. Like let's just say that Dresser in his press conference said, Pinheiro wrestled off Jacob Frost. Dresser always. This is my. These are only glasses. There's hits in here, but Dresser it'll be like this, and he'll be looking at his phone. He does that thing where he looks over top of it, and Pinheiro and Jacob Frost wrestled off. We got Pinheiro on this one. Well, how's it go, Will? But even if Dresser said, Pinheiro and Jacob wrestled off and Pinheiro majored him twice, I would still consider taking Ryder Block. I think what I said about it in Dean, Ryder Block's very, very skilled. And what I said about in Dean is confidence is a very dangerous thing. And Dean's sort of rolling now. And I think there were moments at national duels, a kid comes into college, Ryder Block, he doesn't know. This is the next level. He sits out with injury for a whole year. He still doesn't know really how he stacks up with the country, how I stack up in college wrestling. And then he cuts to 141, and he's miserable, and he loses to kids that he's much more talented in than because, he's cutting so much weight. And then he goes to national duels, and he has some moments that he looked like the old Ryder Block, that he looked like he had the swagger, that he had the confidence. And so I think that Ryder Block Pinheiro would be a thing. I think it's going to be Frost. And I just don't know who to take. Pinheiro's another one, man. Look at Pinheiro's scores. Can we get Pinheiro's scores? Let me look up Pinheiro Johnson. I like an idiot, just typed in Johnson. There's only 7,000 of them. Okay. Pinheiro Johnson, at NCAAs last year, lost 2-0, 1-4-3. Tiebreaker 1, 2-1. Tiebreaker 1, 5-2. 5-4. 2-1, 6-5, 7-3, 4-1, sudden victory, 10-7. That was the list of Pinheiro Johnson matches to end last year. Everyone's overtime or one takedown.
I'm just glad that match was 6-5 and not 6-7.
You're 4 years old. So listen, as good as Pinheiro is, I think that Block could beat him. Now, I imagine it's going to be Frost. I just don't know. I don't know. I'm not in the locker room.
I know rankings.
I don't know the dynamics. Just outside looking in, I don't know how you win 2 wrestle-offs and don't start.
Is this the craziest situation, though, where you have, I know it's only November, but technically you have the number 2 guy in the country and you might not wrestle him?
Well,
I understand.
On the surface,
correct. That's
absurd.
That's what I'm saying.
Statement. The guy's ranked number 2 in Division I wrestling, and he might not be the starter. That doesn't even, on the surface, it doesn't make sense. But
correct.
If you look at the context, 149 is a disaster nationally, and he lost a wrestle-off. So I don't think that wrestle-offs are the end-all, be-all. These guys were teammates for 3 years. I don't know. We're spending a lot of time. I'm spending a lot of time talking about this weight.
All right, let's move to 57.
Give me Ryder Block.
Who was your pick at 41?
Baschamania.
So if we start at
2-2.
25, you got it 6-6.
Right. A 157 Jordan Williams or Victor Voinovich against Vince Zerbin. And if Vince Zerbin is healthy, I'm taking him. Give me Vince Zerbin. So now I got it 9-6 Cyclones. And man, I don't know. Give me major decision.
So Caliendo over Connor, Patrick over MJ, Ferrari over Dean.
Give me major decision. That's 4, 8, and 3 is 11. That's 17-9 going to 2 matches.
And so you would need 2 majors, and you have, arguably 2 of the best matches here with number 2 versus number 4. This is an outdated ranking. 2 versus 4 with Elam versus Indine. And, we talked about this one a little bit yesterday, too, where it's like Indine has been stock up lately, and Rocky is, we know what Rocky's capable of. We just don't know his current state of how does Rocky look against a top 5 guy. I think this matchup, I don't think this match, the loser here, I do not think is stock down for either guy, but I do think it's stock up if you can get this win. If Elam can come back and get his first top 5 win in a while, I think that's awesome. If Indine can get a top 5 win here, again, right after knocking off Max Stout late, that's huge for him. So I think this is a nice early season stock up opportunity for one of these guys.
Yeah, I'm taking Rocky and I'm taking Younger to make it 17-15 and here we go. We're starting the dual season, and one of my go-tos is would and could and will. Like, if Can Indine beat Elam? Like, is my head going to explode? No. Could he? Yeah. Will he? The pick is Rocky. The pick is Rocky Elam. Same thing at heavyweight. The pick is Younger, and I don't want to hear otherwise. Like, anybody picking Ben and anybody picking Indine, that's just Hawkeye talk. That doesn't mean that next week on the show, if one of them wins, you say, Willie told you. No. All data suggests that Rocky is the pick. All data suggests that Younger is the pick.
Have you ever been labeled Cyclone Willie before?
No.
I've heard Husker Willie, Cowboy Willie, Penn State Willie. Mm-hmm. You've gotten a rare Hawkeye Willie before.
I've gotten Hawkeye Willie a lot. Actually.
Yeah, but not a Cyclone Willie.
So I have it 17-15 with major implications at 125, 141, and 149.
And you really, interesting looking at it, having 7-15. You really kind of gave everybody, except maybe at 49, you gave Iowa State the edge where you could. Like going Steve-O and Etchemendia. Well, I guess Etchemendia isn't really... There would have to be a massive upset for Iowa State to win this. I don't know. I guess
not
Frost.
Really.
I guess Frost over Drake isn't a monster upset. I guess
there doesn't have to be a monster upset. No, I don't think it's going to happen. But Evan Frost over Drake wouldn't be mind blowing. Steve-O over Dean is not mind blowing. Frost over Drake would not be mind blowing. Etchemendia is ranked higher than Nasir. Pinero or Jacob Frost winning would not be absurd. In fact, some people might call me absurd for taking Ryder.
Yeah.
So, you flip. I did take Steve-O, and that's highly suspect.
Sus.
But if you take Pinero or Frost over Ryder, that's 18 14 Cyclones. Yeah. So it's not earth-shattering.
I wonder what the line's going to be for this duel when it comes out. It's not out yet, but curious what it's going to be.
What would you set it at?
Iowa minus 2.5.
3.5.
3.5.
Maybe 4. I like 3.5, 4 is what I would have it at.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
I mean, here's the thing. There's two ways to set lines. You set lines like accurately based on what you think is going to happen. And then you also have to consider the betting public. And Iowa just always gets it done. If you're going to set a line that says Iowa's going to win the duel by like one match, sharp money is going to play history and say history shows that Iowa, even when Iowa State matches up well with them, Iowa gets the job done and even wins by more than you expect.
It is interesting. WrestleStat is typically somewhat in line with betting odds, somewhat in line. And WrestleStat has Iowa over Iowa State 21-9.
And Dean's resume is not better than Rocky's resume. Keith, it's too early to be smoking the Chiba. It's too early on a Wednesday to be smoking the devil's lettuce, Keith.
The devil's lettuce.
And Dean's resume is not better than Rocky Elam's resume. Come on. You're better than that.
You're better than that, Keith.
I'm sorry. What did you say before I got so offended?
I said that wrestling betting lines have somewhat been in line with WrestleStat. And WrestleStat has it 21-9 Iowa. I wonder if this will open up like Iowa -7, Iowa -7.5. And you're going to have Iowa State fans take the number. Like I don't know if it opened up at like 6, 7, 8. Like wouldn't you take Iowa State?
You're being a goof today.
Wouldn't you take Iowa State plus the points?
4.5. I would set the odds at 4.5.
So anything over 5, 6 to 8,
6,
9, you'd probably lean take the points.
I'm looking at the chat. I'm looking at the predictions. Oh, I wish I could be there. I wish I could be there.
I know. It's going to be a good one.
Oh, I really want to be at this duel. I want to be at this duel. I want to be – there's Nebraska wrestles Okie State December 21st. I really want to be at that one, but I can't because that is the Indiana card weekend. There's also a weekend – There's also a weekend in January, I think, where Iowa has a really big duel and I want to be at it, but also Nebraska. I think Nebraska has like Iowa and Ohio State on a Friday, Sunday. I want to be there, but who knows? I'm probably going to get scooped up.
Are you talking about Iowa, Penn State?
Is it Iowa, Penn State?
That's at Iowa, January 16th, Friday.
And then does Iowa wrestle at Nebraska that
Correct.
weekend?
Yep.
Oh, my God.
No,
so
that following Friday to Friday back-to-back.
Oh, Friday to Friday.
Yeah, so they wrestle Penn State at Carver Hawkeye, and then they go to Lincoln the following Friday.
Okay. And then that weekend, Nebraska has Okie State and Iowa on a Friday, Sunday, I believe. Let's
see.
January Big Ten duels are awesome, aren't they?
Oklahoma State, Nebraska, December 21st, and then...
Okay, so it's not Okie State. Is it Ohio State?
Okay, I see what you're looking at. Friday, January 23rd, Iowa, Nebraska, and then 2 days later, Ohio State, Nebraska, and then 5 days later, Penn State, Nebraska. So Nebraska wrestles Iowa, Ohio State, Penn State, back to back within an 8-day span. Crazy.
Keith, I might take you up on that. I might drive from Chicago with Keith Gothard to the CyHawk Dual. I swear to God, I might do that, Keith. But listen, you can't be smoking weed around me on the car ride. I can't be around weed smoking. Can't get contact high. Can you make it? Can you make it from Chicago to Ames with no smoke in the Chiba? Hey, I'm like 10 days. I'm like 10 days haven't had a sip of alcohol. How about that? Or a chew.
Shout out Hawkeye Willie. All right, guys, I got to go get some cooking done. I got a brisket to cook. I got a turkey to cook. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone listening.
You're cooking the brisket today?
I'm going to start the brisket this afternoon, let it smoke
Why?
and cook. Because I wanted to smoke and cook all night. It's a 16-pound brisket. Probably take 12 to 15 hours.
16-pound brisket? That's a
whole
big boy.
packer brisket, yeah. I'm going to do it overnight, take it off mid-morning tomorrow, let it sit in a cooler for a couple hours, and at that point, I'll put the turkey in the Traeger.
Now, will that you put the brisket, you wrap it, you might put it in the cooler. Like, is it still going to be warm by the time you're done?
Yeah. Wrap it so I'll wrap it at 160. And when I take it off the Traeger, I'll leave it wrapped. I'll take it right from the Traeger and put it in a cooler. Keep it wrapped, keep all the juices in there, everything.
You put towels on it?
I don't know. I just put it in a big Yeti cooler.
All right. See, now, listen. I know you got to run. I got to run. I got to jump on a plane. We need to, at some point, either publicly or privately, we need to talk about your Bills.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.